The house that sank 500 meters underground. Imagine saving every single penny for 30 years to buy your dream home, only for the entire building to plunge 500 meters straight into the earth overnight. One minute this family is celebrating, and the next they are trapped in a terrifying pitch-black abyss. Will a father's love be enough to save his son from the deep blue flood coming for them? Stay tuned, because this survival story is absolutely insane. Our story starts with Ben. He just moved his wife and young son into a brand new luxury apartment. But on day one, his son drops a marble on the floor. Instead of staying still, the marble rolls like a wild horse straight toward the balcony. Ben instantly feels a chill down his spine. The building is tilted. To test his theory, he places another marble down. This time, it stays perfectly still. His wife laughs it off, thinking he is just stressed. But that very night, nature proves him right. A massive rainstorm hits. Cracks snap open across the walls. Boom! The entire building silently drops 5 centimeters into the ground, while everyone is fast asleep. The next morning, the windows are cracked. Outside, a deep, ugly fissure splits the pavement. Ben rushes to the building management, screaming for help, but because the building is brand new, the greedy managers delay the repairs just to keep selling apartments. And that delay changes everything. The next morning, a loud roaring sound wakes Ben up. He runs to the window and gasps. The street below is ripping apart into giant canyons. People are running for their lives. Before Ben can even grab his family, the whole world starts to shake. The ceiling caves in. His 30-year mortgage house turns into a runaway elevator, screaming downward into a bottomless pit. With a deafening crash, the building jams halfway down a massive underground sinkhole. Meanwhile, Ben's wife, who was just out buying groceries, returns to find her entire neighborhood gone. Her heart shatters. Her husband and son are trapped somewhere down in that dark abyss. Down in the dark, Ben wakes up. He checks his son's room, but it's completely empty. Suddenly, smash! A car falls out of the sky and lands right in his living room. Inside the car is Ben's clumsy co-worker. Ben tries to pull the car door open, but he pulls so hard the handle snaps right off. As the car begins to slide off the edge of the ruined living room, Ben grabs his co-worker just in time. Soon after, they hear a noise from a closet. They open it, and out pops their female neighbor. The 3 survivors run to the roof to call for help, but they are hundreds of meters deep. 0 cell service. Up on the surface, rescue teams try to lower ropes, but falling rocks almost crush them. They send a high-tech drone down, but the deep magnetic field kills the signal, and the drone crashes right onto the survivors' roof. But this crash gives them hope. Suddenly, the drone's camera blinks back on. The rescue team sees them and quickly uses another drone to drop a satellite phone and emergency supplies. Ben grabs the satellite phone and calls his wife, but she delivers a heartbreaking piece of news. Our son didn't come to the market with me. He's still down there. Ben looks at a giant gaping hole in his son's bedroom floor. He realizes his boy must have fallen into the deep basement. Without a second thought, Ben ties a rope around himself and leaps into the dark elevator shaft. As he reaches the flooded basement, a giant boulder crashes down, pinning Ben's leg. Ignoring the agonizing pain, he pushes through the water, screaming his son's name. Through the echoes, a small voice replies. His son is trapped inside a narrow drainage pipe, blocked by a massive rock. Using superhuman fatherly strength, Ben clears the debris, pulls his boy out, and holds him tight. Together, they climb the shaky pipes back to the roof, but the danger isn't over. Another nearby building collapses, blocking the top of the sinkhole. To make matters worse, the heavy rain turns the sinkhole into a giant filling bathtub. The water rises to their knees, then their waists. They are going to drown! Suddenly, a massive empty plastic water tank floats by. It's their only ticket out. They quickly scramble inside, but there is a catch. Someone has to stay outside to lock the heavy lid tight, or the water will fill the tank and drown everyone. An elderly neighbor, Mr. Wong, steps up. He forces the others inside and tightly screws the lid shut from the outside. He smiles through the glass, sacrificing himself so the children can live. Suddenly, a wall of underground water bursts through. The building crumbles, pushing the water tank down to the very bottom. But thanks to the air inside, the tank shoots upward like a rocket. It gets tangled in old power lines. They shake the tank wildly until it breaks free. It shoots up again, but bang, a sharp steel pipe punctures the top of the tank. Water starts rushing in and they get stuck. They push and push, but the pipe won't budge. Just as hope fades, they hear heavy footsteps on top of the tank. It's Mr. Wang. He is an incredible swimmer and survived the flood. Working together, them pushing from the inside and Mr. Wang pulling from the outside, they bend the pipe. The tank breaks free, shooting out of the muddy water and popping right onto the surface. The rescue teams rush in, pulling the brave survivors out into the sunlight. Against all odds, they made it.